friends, welcome back to Common Ground Conversation. I'm Dr. JoNeil Conley. I'm a nurse, I'm a coach, I'm a bullyologist. I have a conversation about the holidays. It is up 3 days before Christmas, and Bonnie and I have celebrated our 1 year of doing this YouTube channel. So I'd like to introduce my dear friend Bonnie. Let her
Hi.
introduce herself.
Yes, I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum. I'm a clinical psychologist and holistic coach. And JoNeil and I got together about a year ago
Yeah,
because we come from slightly different perspectives, which we both find fascinating for one thing. And we
yeah.
like hearing from each other about, well, tell me what you think about this. And I think today's
Mhm.
conversation is going to be interesting with regard to that. Um,
Yeah.
so here we are, and we want to, because even once Christmas is done,
Yes.
then we're dealing with New Year's stuff. Somewhere down the line comes Easter. It's like the never ending churn of dealing with people.
Yeah. Life would be
People.
easy if people weren't involved.
Yeah, there are times when I just say I'm peopled out.
Yes. Yes. And the people we're talking about, we're talking about family and close, but we're also talking about the people that we have different kinds of
Coworkers.
relationships with. Yes.
Coworkers.
Coworkers,
Yeah.
club, who belong to church or clubs or organizations. And again, we understand that there are different relationships you have, but are there some commonalities or some not commonalities that we might want to
And
talk about?
right. And when there's not the commonalities, how do we deal with it?
Mhm.
Because I think we both would agree that there has been a distinct slide in humans' abilities to deal with each other respectfully, kindly,
Yeah.
honestly, etc.
For a lot of reasons, I think. I don't think we could pinpoint it to one particular moment in time, but there's been this drift,
Erosion, yes.
erosion. I'm gonna go with
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely. And again, without losing personal integrity, and I think that's a key point that we're going to have with this conversation. What does that look like when you're in the presence of someone that you disagree with? You can't stand all those things
Right.
that tend to get brought up when you're in a situation with, first of all, it could be somebody you're very familiar with or not familiar with or meeting for the first time.
It
And
could be
where
somebody in a
does
position of authority over you, which
Yes,
complicates the
yes,
picture as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
would you mind sharing a little bit of the Mel Robbins
yeah,
conundrum so that we can then jump into our
yeah,
commentary?
for sure. So some of you may be familiar with Mel Robbins. Recently, she wrote a book called The Let Them Theory. And it talks about how you should let people, be themselves. They're going to say who they are and all of that. And then the second half of the Let Them Theory is let me figure out what I'm going to do. Well, she wrote an op-ed for the New York Post, New York something or other,
New
one of the
York Times, I
newspapers,
think, wasn't it?
Times,
Yeah. Yeah.
about, it's okay to have peace at any cost. Kind of was what it said is don't fight with the family. They may be gone next year and all this. And she has gotten a huge big backlash where that's concerned. And I think, and we don't know what was going through her mind when she was writing the article, but on one hand, she's saying, let them be, don't fight. They may not be there, next year. And on the other hand, it's like, okay, how do I handle that? Which leads us to what a lot of what Bonnie and I first started this on was that whole concept of the holidays are coming and what do you do? And Uncle Albert's being a jackass and how do you handle that kind of thing
Yep.
and still maintain integrity? So that was just
Right.
another reminder that people see situations differently and
Right.
they look at it differently. But how do we respond?
Yes, and they also feel we feel our call differently. We may feel our call as it's my job to take care of me at all costs. We may
Hmm.
feel our call as it's my job to run interference between all these people who are disagreeing. We may feel it's our call to stand up for what we believe is right. So one of the things that it said is critics argue that simply letting them be isn't enough when dealing with racism, homophobia, or other harmful
Yeah,
behaviors, highlighting the conflict between personal peace and ethical responsibility. And I said to JoNeil, I thought that would be a fabulous thing for us to talk about is how do you
sure.
walk that line between taking good care of yourself, but
Hmm.
there are those things where we simply cannot remain silent.
And what is the cost of that emotion? And I think that you say it's never talking about the emotional cost, the cost to your peace, the cost to your integrity. There is a cost for those kind of interactions and what that
Mhm.
looks like. So
Right.
anyhow, I think
One of
it's
the other
fascinating.
pieces, yeah, one of the other pieces that I think kind of fits in here too is we all tend to do a mental math around what is it going to mean to me if I get this person to change their opinion?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And I equate this to when I do work with people who are bullied, you're not going to change the bully. You just aren't. So what do you have to do with your biology and your peace and all those things? And I think it's the same in this situation. There it Having a fight at Uncle Albert with everybody screaming and yelling over the dinner isn't going to change Uncle Albert, and it's going to make everybody else uncomfortable.
Right. And there are those Uncle Alberts who aren't even aware what they're provoking. And there
Yes.
are the Uncle Alberts who know exactly what they're provoking.
Well said. Well said. And neither of those Uncle Alberts are we going to change.
No, no. And so, again, I think doing the mental math there of what is going to be the cost of various kinds of, and I'm going to use a word here, responses, not
Yeah.
reactions.
Yeah.
We do not want to be caught in reaction. And that can be really hard. JoNeil calls it the amygdala hijack. When you get
Yeah.
you get the furnace going and you just want to rip their heads off, the value of taking a step back, or I gotta go to the bathroom, or I'm gonna go outside for a moment, or gee, the dog looks like he needs a walk, to
Mm-hmm.
get the time out to go, okay, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Do I
Mm-hmm.
really want to unload on him?
Yeah.
Is it gonna accomplish anything of use?
Well, the thing too about the amygdala hijack, that whole your vagus nerve runs through your whole system, and the amygdala is sort of the one that's like danger, Will Robinson, danger, Will Robinson. And here's the piece that I need you to understand is that it happens without you even thinking about it.
No.
So
You may
this
feel
is
the churn. Yeah.
Yes, this and I again, I always use the example of sending that pissogram, that email, and hitting send instead of going. I might need to just take a couple minutes here and think about that before you do it. And so we're not saying that your amygdala is not going to fire, because it is.
It
And so
will.
we want you to understand that that reaction is going to happen, but you have got to bring yourself to a place where you can respond, respond
Yes.
in a way
Yes.
that maintains whatever integrity you have
Well, and
versus
so one of the things we want to say about that too is don't beat yourself up when you've planned exactly what you're going to say.
oh
If this happens
yeah.
and that happens and whatever, and then you get there and the person says the thing that triggers you, and all bets are off. It
Mm-hmm.
happens. It happens. If you can just say, I'm going to step back. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go grab the damn mashed potatoes. I'm going to whatever. Buy yourself some time. You really need to
Mm-hmm.
buy yourself a little bit, a couple of breaths at least.
Exactly. And what you mentioned earlier, where people were saying that where it's homophobia or racism or some of these deeply ingrained, I want to think about what to call them, but they're just not nice things for people. You know, Uncle Albert's probably been that way for 70 years. And our yes, those are inequities, yes, those are things that shouldn't happen in our world, all of those kind of things, those absolutely, we're in that container right here. He's in another container, and I don't know that that's going to change.
And so, one of the benchmarks that I use in that regard, and I was just caught in a meeting where this happened,
Mm,
where someone was ripping on evangelical Christians, and I said,
mm,
hold it, hold it, hold it. We need to wait here, and we need to not be lumping everybody into a bucket. No
yeah,
titles, if you call someone whatever title, all those people are far more complex than a label, far more
bingo.
complex than a label. And in that particular meeting, I was running it. So I felt like
Oh,
it was important that I take a stand on it and not
yeah.
just fluff it off.
Yeah.
So when is it important? How do we discern that? I'm one of those people that if I feel like I'm going to walk away from that interaction, and if I haven't said something to address, if it seems like I've tacitly approved of whatever shitty thing someone
Stop.
said.
Stop right there, because I think that's really a really big point, that people think if I say nothing, that means I approve of them. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah.
Yes. If I'm going to walk away and feel horrible that I did not say something, then I'm going to say something.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, what I will say is, well, I heartily disagree with you, and I'm not going to change what you think about it. You're not going to change what I think about it. So we probably need to agree to shift topics or move on to something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
But
not
but I
ruin Christmas.
yeah. But I just, that what you said was just so good about, if you sit there and people are thinking that you're agreeing when you're really not. And that
Yes,
in that to me is huge.
very
I'm kind of
huge.
like, it's really
And
huge.
yes, and if we look at a lot of the anger and vitriol that's flying around now, how much of it is about the perceptions that people have of people who aren't saying anything? Um, they're spineless. They have no
Valid.
balls. They're whatever, whatever, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be? Let's take a look at how do we say something? How do we make a point of staying true to ourselves and our own
Yes.
values, um,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe not flailing against the machine?
Yeah. And I think the other piece of it is on the scale of, does this person not matter at all? Do they matter a little? Do they matter a lot? Like I say, people always matter to Jesus. They just don't matter to me, kind of a thing. you
There you go.
know?
Well, and there's this beautiful thing, and I love this. And actually, this will fit in with this as well. One of the early morning intuitive guidances that I just did recently, the concept was silent cheering. That if
Mm.
you want to uplift somebody, silently cheer them. That
Mm-hmm.
energy gets conveyed. People pick it up. So
Mm-hmm.
we can do the same in terms of expressing our dissatisfaction about somebody's point of view. If it's my boss,
Mm.
and my boss is really known for firing people at the drop of a hat, I might not be able to afford in that
Yep.
moment.
Cost. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I can still display, maybe I'm looking away, maybe I've got my arms crossed, maybe I'm not attending to what's being said. My body language can give the answer as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And going back to the article, and we talked about this, going along to get along, sometimes there's a cost. There's a cost for that.
Costly.
And understanding what that looks like and what it
Especially
feels
the
like.
cost to your physical being.
Yeah,
When you, because I think our bodies perceive that as us selling them out.
correct. Mm-hmm.
When we don't speak our truth, and
Mm-hmm.
including speaking truth to power, our bodies feel like we have somehow sold them out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we need to be very aware. People who have a lot of stomach problems,
Yep.
what are they not assimilating?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what does that look like? And
Right.
and I guess then, we talk about people that come in and out of our world, people that don't
Mhm.
have a lot of influence. To me, those ones that kind of don't matter. They're coming and
No.
don't
And
give
they usually have
away.
mouths that are about this big.
And yeah, just let them be, and then as you move up, people that matter a bit or
Hmm.
matter a lot. And if somebody matters a lot, then there has to come this reconciling of that chasm. That,
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard stories of people that are, different political perspective, different religions, different, all that difference. But what does it look like on belief, the biological level and the respect and the all of those kind of things can, and sometimes they can make it bridge the gap and sometimes they can't. And again, it goes back to that, where does this person fit in my life?
Right. And what are the costs of me not addressing this?
Mhm.
So I'm not saying, and I'm sure you're not saying either, that we're going to call it out in front of everybody, embarrassing someone, blah, blah, blah. No, it might be we set up a separate meeting to talk to someone and say, hey, look, can we talk about this?
Yeah.
Um,
And
um,
in a room with 45 people over a big Christmas dinner at a church hall, I would say hold off. That would be
mhm,
me, kind of a
mhm.
thing,
And there are those people who will poke at you. Like, well, Bonnie, what do you think of this? You tend to be
Mhm.
liberal. What do you think of this?
Yeah.
Now is not the time and place for us to talk about this. If you'd like
Yeah.
to talk about it, we can do that separately some other time. Pass the
Yeah.
gravy.
And you didn't sell, and I think people are thinking, oh, you're selling yourself out if you don't speak up, or if you don't have the fight, or if you don't do all that sort of thing. And I don't see it as that. I
No,
don't see it as that. I
no.
see it as protecting your integrity.
Yes, and I have to tell you, many of the people that I've observed, statespeople, when I see them manage a situation like that with equanimity and magnanimity, I am like, wow, wow,
Yeah.
that is a true statesperson who can do
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead
Mm-hmm.
of, oh, yeah, I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're not saying that you aren't going to face some of those situations, because you are. You
Hmm.
most certainly are.
Right.
Um, what we're saying is, think about the costs, think about the long term, think about, is this the right time, right place, right moment, all of that to have
Yes.
this, or can it be done? Not that and again, we don't want anybody to feel like they're selling themselves out, kind of a
No.
thing.
But
That's
maybe
not
ask
what.
yourself the question, when I walk away from this circumstance, what would I have needed to do to walk away feeling like I'm in integrity?
Yeah. And I don't know about you, Bonnie, but I've had times when I walked away and went, damn it, why didn't I say this? You're always thinking about something down the road.
Well, and if it's someone you know reasonably well, there is nothing saying that and I think some people do spout off at that point because they feel like they're going to lose their opportunity. I disagree
Mhm.
totally. I think we can say, let me get back to you on that. I need
Yes.
to formulate my thoughts. Let me get
Yep.
back to you on that.
Yeah.
Or we can, if we've said something and then when we walk away, we go, oh, I wish I would have said, follow up.
Yeah.
When I said blah blah the other day, what I really wanted to say was this.
Yeah.
Go back
Yeah.
to it. Finish
Go
it
back
up.
to it. Go
Yeah.
back to this. So what tidbits do you have for our folks who are facing the holidays, or this might get posted after the holidays, and it doesn't matter because these sort of things are going to come up at weddings, at baby showers, again,
At
and
work.
at
Yeah.
work, families, all of those kind of things. So let's get some key takeaways.
I think if I had the world stage for 5 minutes and I
Hmm.
could educate about
Yep.
this, I would say be aware of your own soft spots. Be aware of where those buttons can get pushed.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
then you can begin working with yourself and helping heal yourself with because sometimes what's being said isn't even about that, but that spot is so tender, you poke
Hmm.
anywhere near it and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
So be aware of your own stuff. Take the pause.
Take the
Take the pause.
pause.
I'm not sure anybody really ever regrets having taken the pause. They surely regret having spewed.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. And I guess my where I'm at right now is understand your biology, the biology of what's going on with you. And a lot of this stuff is that it's at your amygdala, your vagus nerve, all of those things, and get to this place of regulation, whether it's putting your feet down on the ground, taking deep breaths, putting your tongue up
Little
against the roof of your
tapping.
mouth, tapping,
Mhm.
all those kind of things, and acknowledge that this something didn't sit well with me, whatever that is,
Mhm.
and respond versus react. That would be the what I
Yes.
would want to offer the folks
Yeah.
is give yourself the blessing or the opportunity of just a moment Just because here's the other piece. When this part of your brain is functioning, it means your prefrontal cortex, where good decisions are made, is offline.
Hmm.
It's offline.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
give your body a chance to get back online.
And sometimes you can even feel, it's like, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that. And then it's coming.
Yeah.
Remove yourself from the circumstance. I
Yeah.
need to run to the bathroom. I need to go outside for a bit. Take the break. Give
Yeah.
yourself that gift. Give yourself that
Yes.
gift.
There you go. There you go. Well, we thank you folks who've been with us. Be sure you subscribe, share, ask us questions. If you want to get a hold of
Yes.
us, our contact information will be in the show notes. And
Yes.
because it's Christmas, I'm going to say Merry Christmas, but to all the folks who are out there, whatever you celebrate.
Yes. Have an awesome day. Have
Yeah,
an
there
awesome
you
day.
go.
All
That's
right.
perfect. Okay.